Good afternoon, everyone. We are gathered here today, this afternoon rather, for the pre-bid conference for civil works under invitation to bid number 2025-015 for two projects. We are live via our YouTube channel, DPWH Davao de Oro First DEO Procurement OS, in compliance with Department Order number 6 series of 2024, which directs us to live stream procurement activities for accountability and transparency of procurement processes.
But before we proceed, may I ask the Back Secretariat to please acknowledge all who are present, including observers, if there's any for today's activity.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Acknowledging the presence of the attendees for today's pre-bid conference for civil works, we have here our bank chairperson, Engineer Rico Arroyo.
Present.
Our bank vice chairperson, Engineer Carlo Antonio D. Guzman.
Present.
Our bank members, Engineer Renz Joseph L. Casilla, Madam IBL Britannia, and Engineer Perla P. Mamingo. Present. Our bank secretariat headed by Engineer Maria Shelby Escopia.
Present.
From bank PWG members, Engineer Lubril M. Lampe and Engineer Lainite M. Perez.
Present.
From Planning and Design section, Engineer Jezaniel M. Alaria. Present. We also have our liaison from Agong Builders and Construction Supply Incorporated, Ms. Rosana M. Manangcol. Also, Mr. Chair, we have sent invitations to the following observers: Commission on Audit, Crime and Corruption Watch International, Nabunturan Integrated Cooperative, and Davao del Norte and Compostela Constructors Association Incorporated. Unfortunately, they are not able to attend today's activity, while the Commission and Audit representatives will be watching this via live stream on our YouTube channel. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ara Casiano. Since the majority of the BAC members are present here today, so we are in quorum. I hereby declare this pre-bid conference for civil work in order. We have preset agenda for this pre-bid conference for civil works. Number one, brief presentation of the contract to be procured, which includes basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, documents to be submitted by the bidder, technical and financial components of the bid, criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, status of ongoing projects and awards. Number two, other matters, three-strike policy. Number three, question, comments from the bidders and replies of the BAC and other representative of the procuring entity. Last, number four, summary proceeding including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued. Any motion for other matters to be included in the agenda? If there is none, may I know the pleasure of the body?
I move for the adoption of the presented agenda.
It has been moved by Engineer Carlos T. Guzman and seconded by Engineer Renz Casilla. and with no objection, the motion to adopt this agenda is hereby approved. First, in order of business, is the explanation of the basic contract data. This will be presented to us by Planning and Design Section Engineer Gisanil Alaria.
Good afternoon, everyone. So we have our first project. Name of contract, construction of road Poblacion Mawab to Dizon area, Mawab Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 25LA0089. Location, Mawab Davao de Oro. Scope of works, concreting with a width of 6.10 meters and a thickness of 280 millimeters. Section 1, starting from station 0 to station 1 plus 637, with a total length of 1,637 meters. Concreting with a width of 6.10 meters and a thickness of 230 millimeters. Section 2, starting from station 0 to station 6B with a total length of 16 meters. Construction of minor drainage structures, construction of grouted riprap for slope protection, installation of gabions and mattresses with filtered cloth for scar protection, installation of metal guardrails including concrete posts, and application of refractorized plastic pavement markings. Approved budget for the contract is 34,300,000 pesos. Source of fund, FY 2025 GAA CSSP CPAC. Contract duration, 141 calendar days. Size range, medium A. License category, B. Cost of B documents is 25,000 pesos. This is the location map for the said project. The typical details and the geotag photos. Next project, we have construction of road Manangcol, Golden Valley, and Anitapan, Mabini, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 25LA0090. Location, Mabini, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, concreting with a width of 6.10 meters and a thickness of 230 millimeters. Starting from station 0 to station 482 with a total length of 482 meters. Roadway excavation, surplus common excavation, surplus rock excavation hard, intermittent concrete paved shoulder, construction of concrete canal lining and other minor drainage structures, construction of one single barrel RCDC 3 by 3 by 14 meters, application of refractorized plastic pavement markings. Approved budget for the contract is 34,300,000 pesos. Source of fund, FY 2025 GAA CSSP CPAC. Contract duration, 142 calendar days. Size range, medium A. License category, B. Cost of B documents is 25,000 pesos. This is the location map for the said project. The typical details. And the geotag photos.
Thank you, Planning Design Section Engineer Gisanil Alaria, for your brief explanation for the infrastructure project to be built. Next in order of business is the requirement of the bidding documents. Documents to be presented by the bidders, criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, status of ongoing projects and awards, and the three-strike policy, which will be presented through audiovisual presentation.
Requirements of bidding documents. All documents required including the instructions to bidders, the general conditions of contract, special condition of contract, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities and forms, such as bid securities, are all uploaded to PhilJEP's website and our website at the DPWH. A complete set of bidding documents may be acquired by interested bidders from the procurement unit at the DPWH Davao de Oro 1st DEO Nabunturan Davao de Oro and upon payment of the applicable fee for the bidding documents. It may also be downloaded free of charge from the website of the Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, PhilJEPS, and the website of the procuring entity, provided that bidders shall pay the applicable fee for the bidding documents not later than the submission of their bids. Documents to be submitted by the bidder. The following documents should be included by the interested bidders in their bids. For the technical component of the bid, A. Eligibility documents such as PhilJEP's certificate. B. PCAB license and registration. C. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, SLCC only. NFCC computation and statement of total assets and total liabilities. D. Joint venture agreement, if applicable. E. Technical documents such as bid security, project requirements such as the organizational chart for the contract, list of contractors' personnel, list of major equipment, and omnibus statement, which is 10 items. For financial component of the bid, A. Bid form. B. Bid prices and the bill of quantities. C. Detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals. D. Cash flow by quarter. These documents should be submitted using to envelope system. Bidders are urged to only fasten the documents at the topmost portion instead of binding them. Each document should be ear-tagged appropriately. There shall be 3 copies of documents: the original copy, copy 1, and copy 2. The original copies of technical component of the bid shall be sealed in one envelope, and the original copies of financial component of the bid shall be sealed in another envelope. These envelopes should be labeled as original copy of technical component and original copy of financial component respectively. These labeled envelopes shall be sealed into one envelope and label it as the original copy of the bid. The same procedure applies to copy 1 and copy 2. Lastly, the original copy, copy 1 and copy 2 of the bid shall be sealed into one final envelope to be submitted here in conference room, 2nd floor of DPWH, 1st District Engineering Office, Nabunturan Davao de Oro. Bids can also be submitted electronically through electronicbeads_Compostela Valley@dpwh.gov.ph.
Please be reminded, key personnel. There should be no overlapping or no dual functions, especially in project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, and foreman. Tax identification number, TIN, should be indicated in your bid documents. It will be needed during the award of contract. Financial documents should be written legibly. Discrepancies of bid prices between figures and in words will prevail. For discount offers, methodology shall be indicated. Otherwise, the original bid amount will prevail. Bids not addressing or providing all the required items in the bidding documents, especially in the bill of quantities, the bid will be considered as non-responsive. Always check your documents before submitting to avoid disqualification. All bidders should update their PhilJEP's contractor's profile application as mandated and in accordance to Section 8.5.2 of 2016 IRR of RA 9184 and the GPPB Resolution No. 15/2021. In addition to our bidding documents, bidders are required to include in their technical documents the affidavit of site inspection with proof of evidence of actual visit of the area. This is to avoid problems during the implementation of the project, as per BAC Resolution No. 071 Series of 2023.
Criteria and procedure for eligibility check. criteria, and procedure for eligibility check that are set forth in Section 23 of the revised implementing rules and regulations of RA 9184. All prospective bidders should have updated their Class A documents. These documents were already discussed by the Secretariat. During the opening of bids, the BAC will check the eligibility result of contractor's profile application from Procurement Service of Central Office, and simultaneously conduct the eligibility check and preliminary examination of the technical components of the bids. Bidders who are found eligible and the same time pass the preliminary examination of their technical proposal and financial proposal, the committee will read the bid amount stated in the bid form.
3-Strike Policy, Introduction and Policy Objective. In order to establish a fair and transparent system for managing offenses committed by bidders in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services projects through public bidding, the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, hereby introduces an updated 3-strike policy. This policy is aimed at enforcing adherence to the procurement guidelines stipulated under Section 69.1.I of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations, IRR, of Republic Act, RAE 9184. Under this policy, if a bidder commits 3 offenses or acts described as all other acts that tend to defeat the purpose of competitive bidding, they shall be subjected to an administrative penalty. These offenses, acts are further classified into 3 major categories, as enumerated below.
Classification of offenses that triggers the 3-strike policy and exceptions. 1. Withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of a non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. However, the Bids and Awards Committee, BAC, recognizes certain valid reasons for these actions. A. If upon computation prior to bid submission, the bidder determines that their proposed bid price will exceed the approved budget for the contract, ABC. To substantiate this, the bidder must provide evidence.
Acceptable proof includes, but is not limited to, a detailed budget estimation or a market price report. B. If the bidder, after reviewing the bidding documents and evaluating the available market options, determines that the required goods or supplies either are not available, or that the available alternatives do not meet the specified technical specifications. Additionally, if providing the specified goods or supplies would require the bidder to incur costs exceeding the competitive and financially viable range,
or if adherence to the specifications would lead to a bid price that is not economically favorable, the bidder may withdraw.
To validate this reason, the bidder should present an affidavit demonstrating that participating in the bid under these conditions would be financially unsustainable. 2. Submission of late bids without valid reasons as determined by the BAC. Exceptions will be considered under extraordinary circumstances such as force majeure.
This refers to unexpected and unavoidable external events that impede or prevent a bidder from timely bid submission, as defined in Article 1174 of the Philippine Civil Code. 3. Submission of patently insufficient bid. A patently insufficient bid refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether a bidder committed such an offense may occur as outlined below. A. During eligibility screening and/or shortlisting. I. Submission of an expired certificate of Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, PhilGPS, registration, Platinum membership.
Or a certificate of PhilGPS certification containing expired Class A legal and financial documents as determined during the eligibility screening.
Failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae in the application for eligibility and shortlisting, AES,
which are evaluated during the shortlisting for consulting services projects.
B. During bid evaluation, failure to submit required bid forms, as outlined in Annex C detailing the complete list of required bid forms.
2. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion and/or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required bid forms, as per Annex C outlining the mandatory provisions of required forms. 3. Submission of an unnotarized bid securing declaration, an omnibus sworn statement and joint venture agreement or statements from all the potential joint venture partners, with the exception during the declaration of state of calamity,
or implementation of community quarantine or similar restrictions declared or being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity, PE, or of the bidder.
4. Submission of the bid form, price schedules, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement, JVA, without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. 5. Nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents or, in the case of consulting services, proposing a key personnel whose educational background is different from that required by the TOR. 6. Failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment.
7. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order No. 9, Series of 2012, or, in the case of consulting services projects, failure to submit certifications as required by the Terms of Reference, TOR.
8. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment as stated in the bidding documents.
C. During post-qualification, 1. Participation in bidding for consulting services or good and services contracts by a bidder whose business type category, as indicated on the mayor's permit, does not match or unrelated to the contract being bid for, as determined during the post-qualification process. 2. Participation for infrastructure projects by a bidder whose allowable range of contract costs, RCC, as indicated on the PCAB license, does not match with the specific requirements of the infrastructure project being bid for, in terms of category, classifications, and size ranges. Enforcement and penalties. If a bidder commits any of the 3 major offenses, or acts listed above 3 times within a year starting from the approval date of the resolution recommending the imposition of strike 1, first warning, which is counted as day 1, through day 365, and if these 3 offenses are similar or identical nature, it will trigger the enforcement of the stipulated administrative penalty, suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities, and entering into contract with any DPWH procuring entity. Subsequently, as per the procedure outlined in Annex A, this may result in the blacklisting of the suspended bidder, thereby disqualifying the bidder from participating in any government procurement activities for a period of 1 year. In conjunction with blacklisting, the bidder will also face bid security forfeiture, and must comply with the enforcement of the bid securing declarations condition. In more severe instances, when a bidder commits another set of 3 similar offenses, or more than 2 sets of 3 similar offenses instances, where more than 6 similar offenses occur within the said 1-year time frame, the bidder may be subjected to an increased penalty, resulting in blacklisting for a period of 2 years. The effectuation for the penalty of either 1 or 2 years, as applicable, will be clearly stipulated in the blacklisting order, with the provision that the duration of blacklisting shall not exceed a maximum period of 2 years, commencing on the date the blacklisting order is approved and issued by the Secretary. In enforcing these penalties, the DPWH emphasizes the need for a clear and fair procedure. When an offense leading to a strike is identified, the erring bidder will be promptly notified by the Bids and Awards Committee, BAC, and given a chance to explain their actions before any final decision is made. This procedure helps ensure a well-informed and fair judgment. Furthermore, if a bidder is suspended due to 3 strikes, they have the right to file a request for reconsideration as per the procedure in Annex A. This gives the suspended bidder a formal way to challenge the suspension, showcasing the department's commitment to due process in enforcing the 3-strike policy. 4. Due process and implementation. To ensure that due process is upheld across all stages of procurement, from eligibility screening and shortlisting to bid evaluation and post-qualification, it is essential for the BAC and its technical working group, TWG, to meticulously verify the monthly consolidated strike report's updated version at each stage of the procurement process. All BACs are tasked with actively monitoring these updates to accurately track the infractions committed by bidders. Notably, even if a bidder has accumulated 3 strikes, this alone shall not be grounds for ineligibility, disqualification, or post-qualification until the suspension order is approved by the Secretary and officially posted on DPWH website. Moreover, if a suspended bidder has filed a request for reconsideration, the awarding of the contract may be deferred until such request is resolved. This approach ensures the integrity and coherence of our procurement system, reflecting our dedication to a transparent and fair process for all participants. Failure of the concerned DPWH personnel to implement the provisions of this order shall, after due process, make them liable to the penalties prescribed for violation of reasonable office rules and regulation in Rule 10. Administrative offenses and penalties of the 2017 Rules on Administrative in the Civil Service dated the 3rd of July 2017. This order shall take effect immediately and shall supersede Department Order No. 17, Series of 2015, Department Order No. 35, Series of 2008 and all other issuances that are inconsistent with this order.
Additional information. Only accredited contractors and consultants project engineer shall assign to handle the project in compliance to Department Order 148, Series of 2024. Guidelines on the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants project engineers.
Now done with agenda number 1 and its subsection, including agenda number 2, other matters for the discussion of 3-strike policy. Do we have any other matters to be discussed?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, I have something to discuss. Reminding all prospective bidders that all DPWH implemented infrastructure projects must adhere to Department Order Number 241 Series of 2024, which is the guidelines of the processing, approval, and reporting system of Construction Safety and Health Program, CSHP, for DPWH infrastructure projects. Also, in compliance with Department Order Number 110 Series of 2024, ISO 9001:2015 certification or its latest version as applicable is required as part of the project requirements in the bidding documents for infrastructure projects. This requirement applies to bidders classified under the following: Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board, PCAB size range, and are participating in the department's procurement of infrastructure projects with approved budget for the contract ABC ranges. For PCAB size range large A with allowable range of contract cost ARCC of more than 300 million pesos but less than 450 million pesos, it's already effective last January 1, 2025. For PCAB size range medium B with ARCC of more than 150 million pesos but less than 300 million pesos, it will be effective on July 1, 2025. And lastly, for medium A with ARCC of more than 30 million pesos but less than 150 million pesos, it will be effective on January 1, 2026. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
We will now proceed with the agenda number 3, which is the question, comments from the interested bidders, and replies of the bank. Is there any question or comments from interested bidders? How about from our online viewer? Hearing none, we will now proceed to the last agenda, which is the summary of proceeding, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued, which will be discussed by Engineer Maria Shelby S. Hopia, Head of the Procurement Unit.
All the needed information were discussed and will explained by the back secretariat and the planning design section engineer. I would like to remind the interested bidders to visit from time to time the field jobs and DPWH website, especially 7 days before the opening of bids for possible issuance of supplemental bid bulletins. The deadline of the submission of the bids will be on or before July 1, 2025 at 10 a.m. The opening of the bids will be conducted in the second floor conference room, DPWH Davao de Oro First District Engineering Office, Nabunturan, Davao de Oro. Lastly, shall be addressed to the back chairperson, Engineer Rico R. Rubin, DPWH Davao de Oro First District Engineering Office, Nabunturan, Davao de Oro. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All of the business in the agenda were already taken into consideration. May I know the pleasure of the body?
I move for the adjournment of this pre-bid conference.
It has been moved by Engineer Carlo T. Guzman and seconded by Ms. Ivy Britannia, and with no objection, this pre-bid conference for civil works is now adjourned. Thank you and good afternoon.